Hey, dude.
What?
Have you seen all the drama about the female Adeptus Custodes?
Adeptus Custodes?
Adeptus Custodes.
I don't even know what that means.
Was with the
Uh,
new member.
40k.
What'd you say?
It's a thing in Warhammer 40k.
Okay. What about it? What's the drama?
Okay, so the Adeptus Custodes are these genetically enhanced
Or
warriors.
no, just tell me what's the
that
drama.
were...
Is it that they're too muscular and they're women and people are mad, or?
Well, there's two parts to this. So the Adeptus Custodes are traditionally male in the lore. So people are freaking out about that. And one of the arguments for why there can't be any female Adeptus Custodes is because they're genetically enhanced super soldiers that are, like, supposed to be hyper-masculine. Now, they just introduced female Adeptus Custodes, and the first female is extremely masculine, as you would expect.
Okay.
And people are complaining that, one, it's a girl, and two, it's a girl that's masculine. So they kind of want it both ways, where they complain that there can't be any women who are Adeptus Custodes because they'd have to be very male. And then when there is a very masculinized woman in that role, they're like, why is a dumb bitch ugly like trans girl here? It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Sounds. Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted your take on it. Like, I'm not super into 40k lore. Like, not hyper nerded into it, but you know, I've dabbled in it a little bit, and I think most of the fandom is just like insanely, like I don't even know the word for it. Like, triggered babies or something.
Well, is
I
it
don't know
most
why
of the
the fuck
fandom,
they
or is
care
it
so
like just
much.
like Reddit? Like, I don't know what percentage of them it matters. I have no idea.
No,
I'm
it's
sure.
a big portion of the fandom that are like freaking out.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Sounds cringe, I guess.
Yeah, it's not just like quartering types where he has zero interest in any of the source material he's covering, and then he'll like freak out and complain when a movie he doesn't even watch or a show he doesn't even know or comic book he's never read, like the female Thor thing, like he'll freak out about it but like has literally no clue about any of the story. Like, it's all 40k nerds, but like, my god, I've never seen an actual fandom freak out like babies like this.
Yeah. I have no idea. I would have to know like the lore better to know if I would be like, if this is okay or if it's dumb. I guess I'm not sure. Yeah.
The only issue with the prior lore is there's a lot of material that has like said that they were men, but it wasn't so explicit where it would exclude any and all females. So like it said men of the Adeptus Custodes. So if there's only like 0.0001% women in the group, like it's an extreme rarity, you'd expect them to say something like that.
Oh,
The
But
reason
that's
that they
that,
are so mad about the lore change is because originally the Space Marines, they were supposed to be all males because something about the genetic enhancements just like killed all women that got the genetic enhancements. The Adeptus Custodes though are not Space Marines, so I don't know why this is such a
yeah.
big deal.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I don't know what the people are complaining about. They don't get the like Space Marine enhancement. Like the Primus or Primaris surgery or whatever the it is.
You're just confused why a bunch of sweaty nerds who have been playing tabletop war games are
Yeah, I
miffed that
mean,
there's a
yeah, I mean, I know, I know I shouldn't be like too surprised because they're tabletop nerds, but
This has
like,
been
wow,
a
dude.
massive. The female Space Marines, the female Custodes, all of that stuff has been a major issue in the fandom since I started playing when I was like 12 years old.
Really?
Oh yeah, no,
I
like
can understand the
100%.
Space Marines.
Are either of you? Wait, hold
that
on.
makes
Do either of
sense,
you have
but
like a significant command of the lore?
I have a pretty good command of the lore insofar as what we're talking about here. Yeah.
Okay, what is the why? So are the Adeptus Angelaries, whatever are they supposed to be all men? Were they written that way?
Not explicitly for the Custodes, no. For the Space Marines, yes. For the
Wait.
Custodes,
Are the
I guess,
Space Marine are the female Adeptus or are the Adeptus whatever part of the Space Marines?
No.
no, they're like a step above. So
Okay, wait. Why did you bring
it's-
up Space Marines then? I'm just trying to understand.
The reason I bring up Space Marines is because that's the argument that they're using because it's all space magic. It doesn't really have to make any real world sense. And
What do you
so
mean?
they're
Hold on,
using
stop.
all- Yep.
Just because something is fiction doesn't mean that's not true. Internal consistency is incredibly important in a fictional world. So
Well,
eject
what I'm
that
saying
argument.
is
Yeah.
that they're two completely different processes. Like one are like a bunch of like 8 foot tall, superhumans that are just like the big bad like shock troops that go in. Those are the Space Marines.
Okay.
And the Custodes are basically like demigods. Each one of them is their own individual demigod.
Okay. So so why are people mad that they're women? Was it ever written that they were all men, or did people just assume they were all men, or
Yeah,
what?
not explicitly.
Not explicitly for the Custodes, yes, explicitly for the Space Marines.
So what is the lore justification people are giving to be ass mad?
Women.
None. Yeah, that's it. It's like the most shit you could imagine. And like again, they're going both ways. They're saying one, women couldn't be an Adeptus Custodes because they're like genetically enhanced super soldiers basically, and they'd have to be very masculine. And then when they make it fit the lore, where the first female Custodes that they showed is hyper masculine, like 8 feet tall and everything. They're like, ugly girl. Ugh. It's just bizarre.
Sure, I feel like these are two separate claims, whether they're ugly and not.
No.
Like crazy,
No,
feminine or
they're-
beautiful enough versus like, were they in the lore, right? Like the second one is probably
No,
always stupid, but
they're-
the first one might
The
have.
same people are making two of those same two arguments. It's crazy.
Someone is saying
It's
they are
a-
paired with an all-female group called Sisters of Silence, so that might be part of it, as they already had a counter all-female part of their army. Are the Sisters of Silence the female analog
No,
to the Adeptus?
they're not. They're not the same at all. One is just like super psychic or anti-psychic people, and that's the Sisters of Silence, and then the Adeptus Custodes are basically the demigod guys.
Okay.
The big thing is there's a whole bunch of different factions that say all these different things. For the humans, they have the Space Marines. The female analog to those are the Sisters of Battle. So they kind of do have representation with Space Marines, but like lore-wise, it's a little bit different. And then there's the Custodes, which are just supposed to be the demigods that protect the actual God Emperor. There's not really any explicit thing for the Custodes, but yeah.
And again, the only like deep lore references that suggest they're male don't make explicit suggestions that they're male like they do with the Space Marines. Like with the Space Marines, it's explicitly said no female can become a Space Marine because they all die during the process. With the Adeptus Custodes, they just make like subtle references saying like all men in the Adeptus Custodes, like that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds I guess then.
Glad we could settle that.
Yes. All right. Well, take care, I suppose. Enjoy the rest of your stream.
Yeah, be careful. There's like two. The problem is like we have like there's like overlapping right now. That's like very hard to sort out. This is like the frustrating thing about media right now is on one hand you have like on the left who want to squeeze like women and gay people into everything to make it all like the most woke progressive shit ever, and it feels ham-fisted and forced and cringe. But then on the right, you've got like these people who every single time they see any female or non-straight, hetero, married, Christian character, they're like, "Oh, this is the worst fucking thing ever." So it's hard for me sometimes when I hear issues like, okay, well now I have to figure out, was this a woke? Is it people on the anti-woke side that are overreacting? Is it both? Is it neither? Well, if it's neither, we would be hearing about it. So like this is like the challenging part that I don't understand, or that's I don't know for this Warhammer thing, right? For instance, I would argue that things like the Star Wars and Captain Marvel stuff feels like females can't fail. The future is female.
Like, comment, and subscribe.